Hi everybody! Today we're going to be making a vase out of stiff construction slabs, and this is my 5th video now, so if you've been following along with my videos you'll know that you can find the materials that you'll need and how to prep your workspace in the info section of the video, so check that out to get started. And we're just going to jump right in here. So for this project you'll need to make a template, so grab a pen and paper. And there's 2 different ways you can make your template. So this is going to be what the front and back of your vase looks like. You can just draw it freehand, use the bottom of the paper as what will be the base of the vase, and do something asymmetrical, and then cut it out. So that would be kind of a wiggly face vase. If you want your vase to be symmetrical, you can fold the paper in half and just draw one side of the vase. So this one will be kind of like a classic vase shape. And then from there, cut out your template. Open it up, and there you go. That's gonna be the front and the back of your vase. All right, and once you have those cut out, then you'll need to roll out enough slab to make that shape twice, and then also the sides and the bottom of your vase. So grab your even sticks, your rolling pin, some clay, use your wire tool to section it off, kind of squeeze it down a little bit, make it easier to roll. And you're going to need enough slab to cover all of the pieces that you'll need. And we're also going to need these slabs to be a very specific stage of leather hard. They'll need to be flexible, but still hold their shape. So like perfect leather hard. Before you start to let your slabs firm out, smooth them with a rib or an old gift card. And now is also the time to add texture if you want to add texture. Okay, so here's my first slab. I'm gonna roll out at least one more of this size, and then a few that are skinnier, so that will be the sides of our vases. And we need to wait for these all to firm up. So your options are leave them out on the table, keep checking back on them, unwrapped, and then you should be able to finish later that day. Or if you want to wait and finish on another day, just lightly drape plastic over all the slabs and check on them the next day, and they should be ready. Once they are ready, we'll start our construction. Okay, our slabs have firmed up to the right stage of leather hard, and now I'm going to cut out my design from the slab. So take my template, lay it down on the slab, and since the slab's a little firmer, I'm going to trace the template with the needle tool first, and then cut with an Xacto knife or a sharp paring knife. Alright, so this is the front and the back of my vase. You can smooth down any little weird edges if you want, but just make sure not to move them as much as possible. The more you bend your slabs and play with them at the stage, the more likely your vase will warp later on. So put one of those aside, and then if you have texture, flip the texture over so it's on the bottom. And then we'll be working on this piece here. We're going to add the sides and the bottom. And before we can do that, we need to cut our other slab into long rectangular strips that will be attached to this piece. So you'll want to decide how wide your vase is. So I'm going to say I kind of want mine to be about that wide, and I would estimate that's maybe 2 inches in between. So I'll make a long, skinny 2-inch rectangle, and I'll make a bunch of these because I'm not exactly sure how many I'll need. Okay, now we'll attach these rectangles to the sides of your vase. Before we'll do that, we'll have to really carefully scratch and slip along the edges where any pieces of clay will be attached. So we're going to be attaching these slabs to the edge of the vase, and that means we'll need to scratch all along here and also all along the edge that's going to be attached. Okay, now when I attach these slabs to the vase, the slabs they're on the stiffer side, so you'll have to kind of ask them to go along the bend carefully. You don't want to just accidentally snap them right in half. If you're having trouble bending your slab so that it fits along the vase, you may want to consider making these slabs a little bit softer, attaching them all, and then letting them firm up once they're on the vase. You can do it either way. Sometimes you can get away with using the firmer one so that it's easier to move to the next step, but sometimes they just don't want to bend along the curve that you're going for, and you'll have to work with slightly softer slabs. This one seems to be working okay. If there's any little cracks from the clay being a little too dry just on the surface, you can smooth them over with your finger, but generally we're going to very carefully bend and lightly move the slab along, pressing down as we go. Right. And I've got a lot of extra here, so I'll have to do some trimming. On the inside seam, you can use your paintbrush to clean up this edge here. And then I'm going to just trim this where the top of the vase is. And then also where the bottom is. Try to get nice and straight. Okay, so that's our first side, and you'll continue to work adding the sides as you go. Just make sure that every edge that is attached to another piece of clay has been scratched and slipped. So especially at the bottom here, when we attach a piece going across here, then you'll want to make sure that you scratch and slip the whole thing. We'll do the other side first. Okay, so before we add the last piece, I just added a little strip of clay that's the same width as my slabs, because I realized that when I put my other face on top, this side was missing a little bit. So when you put your bottom on, make sure you account for the fact you're going to be adding another 1/4 inch or so on top. So silly on my part, but it was easy to add a little strip there, and from here I will add my other side. So I'm going to scratch and slip all along here. And then I'm also going to scratch and slip along the edges of the other face. And then we're going to start to attach them. Now you'll notice when I start to put this on here, it's not always going to fit directly and perfectly in this area. So you'll have to put it on lightly at first and then kind of move and adjust to the inside. You can stand it up and put your hand inside to try and get it nice and lined up and to make sure all the seams are really connected. But I'm going to speed this part of the video up because it's a little time consuming. So you've got your vase assembled. Hopefully putting the other back piece on went fairly smoothly. It is the trickiest part to get it nice and lined up, and sometimes the sides have moved in, so you have to kind of adjust things so that it fits nicely. Especially since I'm doing this kind of quickly, there's definitely some cleaning up to be done with this vase, but that's no problem. I'll show you some easy ways to clean this up just so that all the edges look nice and flush. If you have one of these Rasp tools, this is ideal. It takes clay off a little at a time so you can get nice, even leveling. But if you don't have one, just using your Xacto knife and carving away a little at a time will work as well. So go around, use your Xacto knife or your Rasp and find all those edges that are a little bit funky, and you can carve them. You can also do little things to kind of make your shape more refined, like at the top. I don't like this boxy edge, so I'll do more of a like beveled carved edge on the top. And then if you're using your Rasp and you're left with these kind of weird shaving marks on the side, or even with your rib, an easy way to get rid of them is just by using your rib or gift card. All right, so take some time, work on cleaning up your vase. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Once you do a little cleaning on the edges, get them nice and smooth, then you're good to go. These are a good thing to let dry a little slowly, so if you let it dry wrapped under plastic, all these seams that you attached are prone to cracking, but I'm confident that yours will not crack. So I know that was a little bit of a challenge, but if you ended up making a slab vase, please send me a picture, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.